Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Snakeometer podcast. And at the very start, I'm just going to say thank you for watching. That's all we have for you today because we've got nothing else to discuss about this game between KKR and the Punjab Kings. I mean, we analysts a lot of time think, we are going to dissect games and we're going to find out a lot of areas of where it went wrong, where it went right. But when a side scores 261 and the opponent chases it down with 8 balls to spare and 8 wickets in hand, I don't know how to analyze a game of cricket like this. Sarvesh, if you've got any ideas, please tell our viewers and listeners because I am just thinking of taking voluntary retirement from from the cricket analysis career that I'm trying to forge for myself.
No, I don't have. I don't have any analysis on this game as well. 261 for six. I mean, nobody has managed to chase this kind of a total because the record chase in IPL was 224, and that was done. That was done 10 days ago, and that's the joint highest record that I think Rajasthan, that Joss Butler's inning that came in that game. So Rajasthan, they have that record. That's the joint highest runs chased in an IPL game, 224. That happened 10 days back, and now that record has been smashed. 224 and 261. There's a huge difference in that. Difference of almost 40 runs. So we don't see these things happen a lot, but for some reason, this season we have already discussed this, that SRH versus RCB game where SRH scored 287 and in reply RCB scored 262, and we discussed that this is not normal. The teams RCB lost that day, but they still scored 262. That's not normal. And what we saw today, 261 on most days would be enough, but Punjab today, for most of the game, right from that power play, they were ahead. I mean, imagine
Yeah.
in a 261 run chase, 261, the target is 262. In that run chase, if you're ahead of the game for almost 20, all the 20 overs, imagine the kind of start their openers gave them. Imagine the kind of continuation that Shashank and their middle order gave them. So I think, I don't know how to describe this, but this season, I mean, again, I'll put another context in this. So yeah, now look at this. Today we saw 24 sixes in an innings, 24. That Punjab today they scored 24 sixes, and this season already twice SRH have hit 22 sixes. Once again DC, and then before that they scored 22 against RCB. So now this is for the third time this record is getting broken this season, and not just that. Now this has been compiled by Kaustubh. If you don't follow Kaustubh, you can see his Twitter handle there. I mean, you can follow him for such great analysis and stats. He does a great job there. So yeah, do follow him. And now, like, coming back to that tweet, highest IPL totals against RCB, Mumbai Indians, DC, SRH, Punjab, Gujarat, KKR. They all have come in 2024. So basically, in the first 41 games of this season. So only three teams: LSG, Chennai, and Rajasthan Royals. Out of those three teams, one team is new. So can you imagine? Can you imagine this? In these 41 games, almost all the teams have conceded record number of totals in these 41 games. I don't have anything else to describe this. This is unimaginable. I don't know how what more to say on this.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a six on demand machine today and a boundary on demand machine. Whenever the batters were playing, you just had to press a button and say, I'd like to see a four. I'd like to see a six. And the batters would oblige and they would just smash it out of the park. If we go back to our summary and just for our viewers who probably didn't watch the game. So there you have it. 261 for 6, beaten by 262 for 2 in 18.4 overs. Phil Salt, their top scoring for the KKR, and Johnny Bairstow with that brilliant 100 for the Punjab Kings. Now, there's a saying in Hindi कि देर आए दुरुस्त आए लेकिन जब आए तो किस शान से आए, and Johnny Bairstow, who's been in this country for such a long time, since that England Test tour and now the IPL, and not done anything of note for all that time. finally, when there are questions marks being asked about, you know, does he really deserve a place in this side, etc., etc., just comes out and delivers. But this is typically what Johnny Bairstow can do. He can go through a run of absolutely low scores and then produce an innings which will make you not only stand up but stand on your toes and applaud him.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh,
You're still at a loss of words there, Sarvesh. Right, let's have a quick look at the KKR innings then. Let's see what they got up to when they batted first. We used to seeing starts by Phil Salt and Sunil Narine. No surprises there, giving phenomenal starts. But let's try and, even in the madness, let's try and see if we can find some method where we think this went slightly wrong for KKR. Um, you can see those strike rates by the openers 202 and 221.9. What followed after that for 23 deliveries was a strike rate of 169.6, Venkatesh Iyer. Now, in any situation, a strike rate of 170 is a great strike rate. But in this particular situation, when your openers have given you a fantastic start, the job of the middle order is to just keep going and not put the brakes on. Your thoughts on whether Venkatesh Iyer was the right choice to come in at number three?
I think instead of narrowing down on Venkatesh, yeah, I think I would say that when you are in such a good conditions, they were I think 130, 140 odd for one wicket. Because that's when Sunil Narine got out. So I felt at that particular point in that game, they could have risked sending Andre Russell at number three. They could have even sent because left-handed batter got out, so they could have even sent Rinku Singh up. Because I feel that they are underutilizing Rinku Singh this season. I mean, yeah, I understand that he is the designated finisher, but as in look at what Sunrisers are doing right now. They are sending Henrik Larsson up in games like this. In madness like this, they try to throw more madness at the opponents. So I think at the end of the day, you would feel that KKR probably left maybe 20, 25 runs behind when they were batting. I mean, they scored 261, but you would still feel that on this day, on this track, probably 280, maybe 280, 285 was the par. So, I mean, when you are batting first, you are never sure about what's going to happen in that next inning. So, I think you have to maximize and utilize all your resources to great extent. So, I think Rinku Singh had a case to bat at number three. They haven't done this before. I didn't expect them to do it today as well. But I feel going forward, they can probably start utilizing Rinku Singh a bit more because they have Raman Singh, they have other batters who can bat down. They even had Ankush Raghuvanshi. I mean, he didn't bat today. So can you imagine the kind of firepower they have in their batting lineup? But they are still underutilizing a player like Rinku Singh. But despite that, they are ending up with 261. So that's the caliber of this team. I feel they should basically utilize Rinku Singh and Andre Russell in a much better way. That's where I think they can improve.
Yeah, it was the first ball of the 11th over that Sunil Narayan got out, which means you had about 10 overs left in the innings. You have got power hitters like Andre Russell, like Rinku Singh, and Ramandeep Singh in your side. Even if you give them 3.5 overs each, out of those 10 overs, and remember, there's somebody else at the other end, anyways. So, yeah, just I was sitting there thinking, yeah, maybe they should have just sent up Andre Russell, followed by Rinku, and then Ramandeep Singh. But hey, I mean, hindsight's a brilliant thing. Shreyas Iyer did give them that finish that they needed of a
Yeah,
280. He's played out of his skin because that's not his natural game.
yeah.
Normally, he just likes to take a little bit of time before he starts smashing it big. But it was good to see him do that. 261 for six at 12.94 is what they ended up with. And it's no surprise that those bowling figures are looking absolutely pathetic. I mean, look at those economy rates there: 15, 11.25, 16 for Harshal Patel, once again proving to be expensive, 17.33 for Kagiso Rabada. I, in fact, sent Sarvesh a message during this innings wherein I said to him, if Kagiso Rabada bowls another fourth over, he will break Mohit Sharma's record. That Mohit Sharma, unfortunately, has the honor of being the most expensive spell in IPL history. And I think Kagiso Rabada was well on track to break that record today. Um, Rahul Chahar there, bringing some sort of um, peace and quiet in that bowling card with his 33 from 4 overs. Um, just one thing that I noticed about Rahul Chahar today, he was bowling a lot slower than what he normally does. He was tossing them up, and he was kind of making the batters make all the pace of him, which probably in the end helped him.
Yeah,
The other question for you, and that is Harpreet Brar. I mean,
yeah.
the introduction of Harpreet Brar, he's been your best spinner throughout this IPL, was so late that he had nothing to offer when he was introduced.
I think the matchups are playing a key role here. I think people are just looking more and more into matchups. There were a left-hander. There was a left-hander batting for almost till Venkatesh Iyer was batting. So for almost the entire innings, if you leave the last 3-4 overs aside, I think a left-hander was always there. So I think that's one thing that they had in their mind, that they won't bowl a leg spinner and a left-arm spinner against a left-hander. So I think that's what they tried to do. I mean, you rightly said it's probably unfair. Probably he should have come in. He should have bowled in that power play where Phil Salt was going very strong. I think that's where I think you can be a little bit more proactive. You can try to throw something unexpected at the opponents, because with Sunil Narine batting, I don't think they expected Harpreet Brar to come in that power play. Probably they should have tried, because why I'm saying this is because I saw Kagiso Rabada, Arshdeep Singh, Harshal Patel, Sam Curran, all these guys were bowling to just uh, Sunil Narayan's strengths. I mean, he was just standing there and hitting those deliveries, and they were trying their best. They were looking to keep it away from his arc, but it wasn't coming off. They were bowling too many wides. Then they were bowling in his arc. I mean, things were not happening for them. I felt probably you might just you might just trust your key spinner in there. That didn't happen. So yeah, you rightly said, because look at the figures of the spinners: 6 overs, 54 runs. I mean, on a day like this, when the team is considering at 13, and if your spinners are considering just at 9 runs per over, so I think it's still a decent outcome. So I felt they probably underbowled Harpreet Brar there. Probably he had a case to bowl much earlier in the innings, like you said.
Yeah, you rightly pointed out about the extras as well. There were 10 wides and one no ball.
Yeah,
And remember that it's just not the runs of those deliveries, it's that extra delivery that you get, the free hit. Yeah, just adding to Punjab's woes. But hey, maybe they knew that this was going to be an easy run chase. Maybe they were comfortable when they went to the dressing room at the halfway stage. Maybe someone said to them, you know what, these guys are about 20, 30 runs short on this wicket. Because what followed next when they came out with the bat was just some of the most insane display of white ball hitting that I've seen ever in my life. Um, just four names, first of all, on the list that were needed to get the job done. Um, Prabhsimran Singh, strike rate of 270, 54 of 20 deliveries. Johnny Bairstow, we've already spoken a bit about him. 108 not out, 48 deliveries, strike rate of 225. Riley Russo doing what Venkatesh Iyer did for KKR, slowing things down a bit. 162 strike rate, but still, when he's slowing them down, he's going at 162. And Shashank Singh, I don't know where to start and end with this guy. 68 not out, 28 deliveries, strike rate of 243, 8 sixes, and two boundaries. So 10 of those 28 deliveries
yeah,
went went to the boundary. Yeah, like, is it, I mean, people look at this and they'd probably be saying, if they can do this, why
mm,
couldn't they do this in all the other games that they were playing?
yeah,
Because Punjab this season has lost a lot of close games.
yeah.
They've run sides really close and then they haven't managed to get the job done. What would you say to viewers who would say, if they can play this well, why are they so low on the table?
I think even in the earlier games, you look at that RCB's response. They scored 262 in reply to 287. Mumbai Indians scored 246 in reply to that 277. That day, I think Delhi fell short against SRH. SRH scored 266. Delhi still managed to get to 199 despite that brilliant start they had. They slowed down in the end, but despite that, they still got closer to 200. So I think teams now know that even if the opponents can score 250, 260 runs, like you said, they know that even they can score those runs on these pitches. So I mean, teams are now more and more. I mean, they are just backing their ability. They know that they have that extra cushion of that extra batter because of that impact player. They know what's going to happen, and they know it's nothing is happening off the pitch. There is no swing. They know what the boundary limits are. I mean, everything is everything is basically calculated. So I think that's where these guys are feeling a bit more confident about their ability and what to do. I think so. I mean, this is what has been happening, because this is not for the first time that we are seeing a score of 260 and above getting scored this season. This I think this was for how many times? 287, 277, 272, 266, 262 RCB, 261 today KKR, and then again 262 Punjab. So seventh time teams have crossed scores of 260 and above. So that tells you that teams are now backing their ability, backing the strength to score this kind of innings and even chase it down. So I think teams now know what to do in such cases.
Yeah, the telling stat on that scorecard is those 24 sixes. Just imagine 4 overs of just sixes.
Yeah.
Six, 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 six. Yeah, just that.
So that's more than
And
20% of the deliveries going for sixes, because they didn't even play for the entire 20
in,
overs. They just played for 100
yeah,
and how many 112 deliveries. So that's it. In those
yeah.
112, they scored 24 sixes. So more than 20% of the deliveries went for six.
And not to forget, KKR scored 18, which means
Yeah.
24 plus 18, 42, new record for the number of sixes hit in a T20 match ever. So yeah, records galore. Statisticians delight this game of cricket. With the innings progression, we can see where things went right and wrong for each side. KKR got a brilliant power play, 76 for no loss. Punjab Kings came back and they said, we can do one better." So they went 93 for one in that power play. KKR kept going. After that, 61 in the next four. There was a bit of a slowdown by Punjab Kings with 39, and that's that phase where I think Riley Russo was batting. And then 11 to 15, KKR 53 for two. They lost a couple of wickets, so slowed down a bit. That's where they had the innings from Venkatesh Iyer come in, but Punjab Kings kept going with 69 for one. And then that last phase where KKR lost a few wickets, there was 71 in those last 5 overs. But Punjab Kings, not even playing 5 overs, they were only 3.4 overs there and getting 61. So, yeah, whichever way you look at it, just insane figures. Anything of note for you there, Sarvesh?
I think you said 3.4 overs. So that is how many? 22 deliveries? 22
Yeah,
deliveries
the
for
one,
66. And no wickets
yeah,
lost. I mean,
it's 3 runs a delivery basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. While chasing, I mean, what you expect is while chasing that teams would get to a flyer, because they need to be ahead in that chase. So they teams chasing will always score more runs in that power play. They will sort of slow down in that 7 to 10 over phase, which is what we are seeing right now, and then they again tend to pick up towards the back end. So I think this is a classic case where teams look to build big in that power play, and then they maybe consolidate a bit in that middle overs, and then they start going after 10th over. So I think this is a classic template. They didn't even play the 20 overs. They just played 18.4. So I think these numbers are pretty good. I mean, any team which is looking to chase these many runs down, I think this is a template.
Yeah, one man who can hold his head high in all this carnage, though, is that man again, who scores runs with the bat and he comes and bowls brilliantly as always. For the KKR, if you look at their bowling card,
Yeah.
you will see the Sunil Narine there, 4 overs, 1 for 24, 12 dot balls, while everybody else around him is being just deposited into the stands. I mean, look at those economy rates. They changed Mitchell Stark today with Dushmanta Chamira, but he went for 16 and over. Harshit Rana almost 16 and over. Anukul Roy 18 of his two over. I mean 18 runs per over. Varun Chakravarti going for over 15 and over. Andre Russell going for 18 and over, and Ramandeep Singh in the end finishing off. But yeah, Sunil Narayan still showing that even in a batter's paradise, even with small boundaries, even with better bats, even with great pitches, there is a way to control the scoring.
Yeah, if you look at his total impact, then he has scored, I think, 70, how many? 71 runs from 32 deliveries. And he has given away only 24 runs of his 24
In
deliveries. So his overall impact on this game is massive. I think in my opinion, he should be, I mean, won't say man of the match, because I mean, but I would still say he was probably there in contention to get that man of the match. I don't know who got the man of the match award.
Johnny Bairstow got it. Yeah.
Okay, but I think Sunil Narine was bowling and batting at his best. So I think he even deserves some credit there for KKR because his overall impact is massive in this game.
I think he needs to improve his fielding though, because that's where he's losing out. I'm saying this sarcastically because I think
Nothing
what
else to
else can
improve.
you do? What else can you do? I mean, even after batting like he does and bowling like he does, he's still not helping them win.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needs to focus on his fielding. Right. Couple of questions for you now. Before we go on to that league table. Um, is KKR's utilization of Rinku Singh going to cost him his World Cup ticket?
I don't
That is
think.
my question number one.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to cost him his spot in that team. I think he's pretty much nailed on because look at the finishes that we have at this moment. We are not. I'm not sure if we are going to. We are not looking at Shashank Singh. We are not looking at Ashutosh. We are not looking at most of the finishes that we are seeing this season. Shivam Dubey, I don't know if he's going to be there. So I think the obvious ones are who are going to be there. They are likely to be Hardik, Ravindra Jadeja. These two will be there, and along with them, we will need somebody who can finish that innings on a high for us. So I think Rinku Singh is the only name which comes to my mind right now. Nobody else is doing that job for any team. But even Rinku Singh is getting underutilized. But I don't think it is going to cost him that spot. But I hope that they will start using him in a much better manner because he's a very good player. Just too good to be playing for just 4 or 5 deliveries. I think can do a much better job.
It flows on nicely to my last and final question for you. Um, the team is going to be selected sometime soon,
Yeah.
and we're seeing this new brand of cricket that a lot of our youngsters are playing. People like Shashank Singh, people like Ashutosh, who play fearless cricket. No worry in the world, no care in the world. They don't care about their average. They don't care about remaining not out. They don't care about which bowler is in front of them. Um, is this and everybody seems to agree that this is the way to play T20 cricket
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Yet we are likely to see a whole lot of different names going to that T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who cannot understand how these guys are not being selected for the national side?
I think it's difficult when you don't have the experience of playing international cricket because we saw in 2021 Varun Chakravarti was trusted to go to that team and then he did not have a good World Cup there. He didn't. I don't think he even played all the games, but he didn't have a greatest of the tournaments. That's it. That is understandable because he was still new. He was still just making his international. He was just getting started there. So I think that's where I think we probably have learnt a lesson that you cannot take untested player on World Cups or to big tournaments. Now Varun Chakravarti, even after that tournament, if you look at his numbers, those numbers are looking good. I mean, today let's leave this match aside and just look at his overall numbers. He has done a good job for us. But since that World Cup, he has never made a comeback in that Indian side. I don't know why, what the reason is, but I think he is a good enough bowler to be playing for national side. But he has never made it back. So sometimes players pay that price of that failure in their first tournament. I mean, nothing against the selection policy, nothing against Varun Chakravarti, but I think that's what can happen when you take untested players to World Cup tournaments like World Cup. So I think we have learned our lessons there. I am not saying that Shivam Dubey or Shashank Singh, these guys are not capable. In fact, if you ask me, we should take at least one of Shivam Dubey or Shashank Singh. At least one. When I'm saying at least, I'm still very much happy if they both go, but we need at least one of them because these are the guys who are in good form for you, and form counts. I mean, if you look at the form of some of the players, they are not in the greatest of the forms. So I think having these players makes sense. I don't know if it's going to happen. If it is going to happen, I don't know. But I think still having them, I'm pretty sure that one of these two will at least make it to that reserves bench that we have. After those 15 players, we will still have 3 players on that bench. We may see if they don't get picked for the 15 side for the top 15. I think there will be one of them will be there in that on that bench. I think it's a good signs for Indian cricket, but I think it may not happen in this World Cup.
Just to summarize, what Sarvesh has said is that there are a lot of other factors that count when you select a team for Team India. The pressures of playing international cricket are different. The pressures of a tournament as big as the World Cup are different. The environment is completely different to a franchise team environment that these guys are playing with. So, yeah, lots of things for these youngsters to learn. But yeah, the talent definitely is there. We just need to kind of nurture it for a while before letting them get on to that next step.
Yeah.
Right, league table, please. Where are we? Where is KKR? KKR still in second place despite the loss because of that healthy net run rate that they have. And Punjab, you know, they're still hanging in there by the skin of their teeth, as we say. You know, you've got 9 games, so they have how many? 5 games to go. If they win all five, they get to 16 points. It's a tough ask, but they're still in with a chance.
Yeah, still mathematically they are still in. You cannot count teams out unless they are mathematically out. That's what we do every season. So I think yeah, they still have a chance. And if they play like play like this match, if they replicate this innings every game, then who knows? They can qualify. They can easily do that. I mean, that's the kind of performances that Punjab has been putting this season. Some of the games that they should have won, they lost in the end. Some of the games they had no business winning those games. They still managed to win those games. Some of the crazy games that we have seen. So I think Punjab has been that kind of a team. I would say they are the entertainers of this season. They are just playing with everyone's emotions. And they are just giving all that sort of entertainment to everyone. So I think that's the one thing which is guaranteed with Punjab. And I think their campaign is still on. Tomorrow we have a few important games. Teams from that bottom of the half of that table will play against each other. So that will again add some twist to that.
Yeah. I wonder when they were sitting at the auction table, when you look at games like this, and the Punjab management was sitting there and they were picking all these players who were filled with power. You know, when you pick a Johnny Bairstow, you pick a Liam Livingston, you pick people like Shashank and Ashutosh and all these guys who are all power hitters. When they were picking that side, I think this is the kind of game that they were expecting. Unfortunately for them, they've come close in a lot of games, just not being able to. And I think a lot, when they do a review of their tournament, it'll come down to they didn't just get enough from their top order, because once
Yeah,
they got enough from their top order today, you can see what they're capable of.
exactly.
But in those previous games, they never got enough from their top order, and that's going to be the reason why if they don't make it, that
Yeah.
that will be the reason why.
Absolutely. The top
Um,
order, I think, has been disappointing. I mean, injury to Shikhar Dhawan and things are not happening there. But today we saw the top order playing well. Prabhsimran, he had a very good game. And I wanted to highlight one more thing. If you look at the if you look at the bowling charts in that top 12 or top 13, you will find four Punjab Kings bowlers. Four. Harshal Patel is at the top. He is now the purple cap holder. But Rabada, he's there. Then Arshdeep
Arshdeep
is
is
there.
there.
Yeah, Arshdeep. Everyone
Mm,
is there in that top 15. Sam
yeah.
Curran is also there. So I think the bowling unit is doing still a decent job. That their batting, that top order batting, that needs to come alive. And I think what we saw today, I think there are good signs for them, because there was one department which wasn't clicking for them. That it was their top order, and now it has started clicking. So who knows? I mean, they can still do it.
I just get the feeling it's a little too late because the
Yeah,
horse has already bolted.
yeah,
The double header coming up for a change on Saturday. First game, Delhi versus Mumbai. Delhi, couple of places above Mumbai on that league table. Mumbai have to win. I mean, even if they win, they're still in with only a mathematical chance.
yeah,
So it's a must win for them, and must win for Delhi as well, because it's their 10th game,
yeah,
and there'd be 10 points if they do win tomorrow from 10, and they will need all those.
yeah.
So yeah, going to be a good exciting game, Sarvesh.
Yeah, absolutely. Both DC and MI will fight for those 2 points, and if DC win, they will feel that their campaign is still alive. And in my opinion, right now, DC they are a better team. They are a team where most things are clicking for them. I mean, they have limited resources in most of the areas. They had few injury concerns. David Warner is not there. I think tomorrow David Warner is not going to be playing. I think Ishan Sharma is also not going to be there. Uh, Mitchell Marsh has already been ruled out, so Gulbadin Naib has replaced him. So I think they have had some issues with the injuries, but I think they are still doing a decent job with the resources that they have. They have found some new heroes like Fraser McGurk. So I think this team is still doing things are still clicking for them. I mean, despite this poor season. So I would feel that DC right now in a much better mental space than Mumbai. With Mumbai, you see that there are a lot of issues, and things are not happening for them. So I think DC right now, in my opinion, they are in a better mental space right now, and that's what matters when you come to the business end of the tournament. You want teams to feel confident, and I think DC look a bit more confident. They will play at their home. They will look to get those 2 points, which they didn't get in that first reverse fixture at Wankhede when Romario Shepard he just
Yeah,
yeah, he just scored those
proved to
30,
be the
32 runs. Yeah,
difference. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that was the difference.
Yep. Mumbai with the head-to-head, but as you say, Delhi in a much better headspace at the moment. The tradition tells us that they're not very close games between these two sides. As you can see, average winning margins of
Yeah,
almost 40 runs and 18.3, the average number of overs played. But with the positioning on the table, with the nature of this tournament and where we are at, almost at the business end, it's going to be exciting to see what they come up with.
yeah,
Mumbai, I just feel need a bit of individual brilliance
yeah,
tomorrow. I don't think they're going to get the job done if someone doesn't play out of their skins, and that's the kind of season that
yeah,
they've had. In the second game, who do we have tomorrow? LSG versus RR. So uh, lots to play for both sides because RR will be trying to. They're coming off. Are they coming off? No, they're coming off a win,
yeah, yeah.
and so's LSG because they won both their fixtures against CSK, home and
Yes.
away. So both teams coming off a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rajasthan have lost just one game this season, and
Yes.
they are pretty much there in that top two. And I think they have sealed that top two spot, in my opinion. They just don't have to slip away. In fact, I feel that they can even look to experiment a bit. They can even try sending somebody like a Dhruv Jurel up at number 4, or maybe at number 3, somebody like a Hetmeyer, maybe he can bat up, or even Powell can bat up. So I think they can do a bit more experimentation there. Uh, they can afford to do that. But LSG, I think, if you look at that number 3, number 4 spots, I think they are in that mid-table middle right now, and they will need all those points. They will have to keep winning. Even if Rajasthan drop points, they will still be first. If Lucknow win this game tomorrow, then they will be on third spot, and I think they will feel a lot more secured because they will have a lead of 4 points against the team sitting on number 5. So I think that's a good cushion to have at this stage. So I think a win for Lucknow will do wonders for them. Rajasthan, they are in a good space, so I think they will still take a win. But I think even if they lose, they still won't have any significant issues.
The stats that you just showed a very interesting picture. I think all you need to do is win the toss and bat first because all the 4 games so far between these two sides
Yeah,
has have been won by the team batting first.
yeah,
So yeah, forget about everything else. Just bat first and you'll win.
yeah.
Well, if only things were as simple as that. Right. Hopefully we see Mayank Yadav because I was hoping to see him last time. Do we have any more news on his injury?
I think they were being cautious with him. I think he is fit. He because he is bowling in the nets. I think for last week or more than a week now. So I think he should be okay to play this game. I don't know if he'll play, but I think he should be okay because what Langer said in that first fixture against CSK, when CSK and Lucknow were playing at Lucknow, he said that he's bowling, he's back and he's bowling well. So I think so they rested him for a couple of games now, despite being fit and despite bowling in the net. So I think maybe this is the right time for him to come back. We don't know what will happen. They won't like to risk it with Mayank because they want him in that business and in that knockout phase. So I think maybe they will keep resting him, or maybe they can still play him.
Yeah, regardless, they're still winning without him,
Yeah,
and if he does come in, he'll just add to their strength.
yeah,
Well, that's all that we have tonight for you from the Sneakometer podcast on a record-breaking day, on a day which we found hard to analyze. We still try to make some sense of the madness that we saw on our TV screens today. Um, if you do like our podcast, please do subscribe to it so that you get a notification. Follow us on all our social media handles. They're at the bottom of your screen. And if you want to keep watching. We will be right back with you tomorrow morning once again with analysis of both those games, which are there tomorrow. It's going to be a great weekend, and probably at the end of this weekend, we will get a much clearer picture of that league table and know what's happening. Also, something very exciting to look forward to is that Team India selection, which should be happening soon. Um, if there's nothing else to add, Sarvesh,
Yeah.
should we sign off for tonight?
Yes, two games coming tomorrow. I think we need a bit of rest.
Absolutely. Let's rest up, let's go to sleep, and let's get back to our viewers and listeners tomorrow morning. Until then, it is Rahul and Sarvesh saying goodbye and thank you for watching from the Snick Cometa podcast.